Hello everybody and welcome to Art Classes My Way, where I look in the comments section and see what people want to learn. So we are going to finish up our prong and setting wire weaving video here. So this is where we last left off at. Piece is pretty much ready to go and to be done with. The only thing is that we got to work harden those prongs so that way they hold on to our stone really well, because these are all made out of very soft, or all the wires that we are playing with here are made out of soft metals. They're not very great at it. I would not use a stone that's much bigger than what you see me using here. And I've been debating on whether or not to give it a little extra security and using an industrial glue as well, just for added protection. We'll see. I'll probably wear this piece for like a week first, see how I feel that it's doing overall, and if I think it's going to need some extra protection, such as a little bit of glue around the edges and then just underneath the prongs when I set it, then I'll do that. So what we need to do to pretty much finish this guy up, and I know this is going to be very noisy and annoying, but bear with me. We are going to work harden these prongs so that way the metal is stronger. In a way it is more brittle, but it is a lot stiffer, and it won't be as easy for these prongs once they're folded over the stone. If a piece of string or your shirt gets a hold of it and then you accidentally pull up one of those prongs, it's going to take more effort for that prong to get pulled back up. Now, all we're going to be doing is taking our hammer and our bench block here, and I'm putting it on a piece of tape. It kind of helps deaden some of the noise just a tiny bit. Now, it's a little bit hard to use the larger end, so I am using the more narrow, smaller end to give these guys a good tap. Now, I'm not going to town on this. I am not trying to flatten them like I was doing in some of the other videos you might have seen me do. The square cabochon, I really went to town on the hammering for that piece. But this one, I really don't want to change the shape of the wire. I just want to condense it and make it harder. So I'm not really going at this terribly hard. And if you're hitting your prongs and you're starting to notice them flatten out and kind of turning into one piece of metal, you're going way too hard on it, and you're going to end up making something that's so work hardened it's just going to break. We don't want to do that. We just want to give it some strength. Now, it's okay if this side that I'm hitting, yeah, that side's going to change a lot. So that's why we want to do it to the inside of the piece, not the outside of the piece. It is going to change a lot on the inside, but where we're really concerned with is the outside, because if the outside is changing too, then you're being too rough. And this isn't something that you can do quickly. It's going to take a little bit of time. It may be a little boring, but this isn't something where 1, 2, done. I've already hammered that one and that one, so now when you're doing this, if you did what I did and went around the back side of one of your prongs to continue your weave with one continuous wire, you're going to want to make sure that as you're doing this, you're not hitting this guy very much. If you hit him a whole lot, then eventually that wire is going to snap because it's too thin. And also because of the work hardening, it's also going to snap. And then you're going to end up with several wires throughout your whole piece instead of one nice long wire. It's just more for neatness sake, and since it's one long wire, I don't have to worry about it unraveling here or any place else. I just have to worry about here and here since it's all one long wire. So if you end up hammering this guy to the point where he does break or is breakable, then that's something you're going to have to worry about. And for that, if you don't have a means of soldering, I would definitely get some of that industrial glue, the E6000, just in case. There's nothing wrong with being, safe as opposed to sorry. Now you can kind of hear a big difference between using that tape. Plus the tape allows it to hold its shape on the other side, because the tape kind of conforms to it a little more, but if you do it straight on the bench block, yeah, that other side is going to change. And I don't really want that so much. Now, you can see that this guy's kind of off. I'm basically playing with it like it's a jump ring. So that way I still keep the shape that I've been shaping it to my stone this entire time. But I can still get in there with the hammer and do what I need to do. You don't have to shape it. You could just lay it out flat and then go ahead and hammer those parts. Then you can reshape it afterwards. Now you don't want to hammer your wire weaving, because it's going to be the exact same issue as this little thin wire that's going along the back on our prong. That as you're hammering these, they are going to change. That metal has to go somewhere. It's not going to hold its shape per se. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. It's going to start blobbing a little bit with every hit. And that makes this wire so much thinner, and you're just going to ruin the integrity of your piece. You just want to worry about the strength in these parts, and then the strength when you put the top together. Those are the important parts. And plus it's nice when you're using the rounded end. You can get a little bit further into the star shape here, as opposed to this guy who's not. He's just going to end up hitting anything that's tall. So, and yeah, I already did you, and you need to be done. Now, even though this is going to be on the inside, nobody's really going to or should see the inside of this. I still try to, as I hammer, to that there's no great big divots or anything. I try to make it all nice and smooth. You never know what's going to happen. Your work should always look nice, and don't develop any bad habits. Just because you do a bad habit on the inside, you could end up accidentally doing a bad habit where it's going to show. So always keep, even if it's going to be something that's hidden, always try to keep your professionalism. And everything is practice for perfection. that is all there is for that part of this. Bend him back around. Away with the bench block. Letting these guys out just a tiny bit. All right. You will come here. Okay, so just checking my fit. Obviously, it's going to have changed, all things considered, all the stress I've been putting this poor thing under. And this particular stone's pretty hard to keep a hold of because he does not have a flat side anywhere. He's all the way rounded, so that makes my world just so much more fun. All right. So I pretty much decided that the part with all the wrapping on it is the part that I want to fold under. So, come here. Just grab a hold of that guy and just give him a little turn. I'll perfect it once I get that stone more in there. Oh, no, you don't. Come on. Tape off from the above area. That'll help. All right, so I want to make sure I get him to where it feels like the wire is down the middle part here. And then I'm going to go in. Ooh, ow. Squish. Now you don't want to squish it too much because as you can see he's pushed himself away a little bit. I can fix that, but you don't want to. Just keep in mind that when you're doing this that it's going to want to, because of the work hardening that we did, it's only going to want to bend around here, and it's not really bending, it's twisting in all those wires as opposed to forming around it. That's going to be after we get done with the top, but this is just to make him hold better in place. And like I said, here's evidence of that. You got this one little piece here that's coming up from around the backside, showing where the wire twisted as opposed to bending around. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this. But it is all fixable. Set in there nice. Yep. All right. There we go. So, and there's that. And I will be right back. I'm going to go get some. All right, so I got it taped in where I want him to be. And a little bit of my silver-plated copper here. No, there's still some tape on that. Off with you. Go on. And I'm going to give myself a little bit of tail on there. And I'm just figure eighting around these guys for now. Just so this way I can add a good deal of strength to where all these wires are meeting. But it's going to look prettier because I'm going to cover it up with all the fancier bits when I get to that point. Okay, and I'm going to tuck him down through, maybe. That way I can hide the end as much as possible. I'll find some place to stick him through. Come on. Now maybe I should do it here. There we go. And I apologize if you can hear Bad Cat in the background. He's up to no good. That's why he's the bad cat. Not gonna go through for me anywhere? No, guess not. Alright, well, this is good enough. Yep, up through the middle. There we go. And there we are. That looks like a nice place to hide that end. And when you're doing this, just make sure you don't end up cutting part of the wire that you don't intend to. There we go. All right, now we're gonna grab this little tail here. See if we can't do the same thing with him somewhere. You can see where the bad cat got a hold of him, so I'm gonna be a little careful. I might just try to tuck him through something once. Yeah, see? There's a reason why he's the bad cat, as opposed to Sammy, who just talks. I think this guy's gonna snap on me before I ever get it. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I got lucky. Just grab a hold of that little tail. Come on now. There we go. And just nip that off. There we go. All right, nice and tucked and tidied up. Okay, now this part, and for those of you who feel that you got the above area pretty much licked, you don't really care about that, this is the time where you get to go. You can turn off my video and go and have some fun and do what you want to do with your top area there. So I will go ahead and at least finish off with these prongs. That way I don't bore you and you can finish that off in your own time. Now I'm going to be pretty careful with this because unlike my polymer clay, that's an actual stone there. So whatever I do, I want to make sure that I'm pretty much, let's do it this way first. Pinching and squishing. There we are. Make sure it feels like it's in the right place, and it does. Pinching and squishing once again. And I am putting forward force as I'm doing this, going this way while I'm pinching, so that way kind of end up making these guys fall over just a little bit more. They're not going to the way we want them right now, but they will. Now, again, I am not doing this hardly very hard at all because I'm trying to tap him to start forming around a little bit more, which just, for as long as I made my back tongs, that's just not going to happen without tapping him down on something that's got some stability to it. Because let's see if I can't show you here. Focus camera. You can see how very straight this prong is from trying to fold it over. And you know, that's where the way pliers are. There's a lot more stability on this end. And it can't just, you know, do like our fingers do and separate and squish. But this guy I was giving the tapping to, you can see how much smoother he is, just a little bit. It takes a little bit more work than what I just did, but he's starting to form around the actual shape of the stone itself. I don't want to trap my tape, so I'm going to just shimmy him away there. There we go. These guys are going to have some spring to them, so it's going to take some effort and time. Pretty well down. And notice I am also just doing this on the tape as well. Again, it's absorbing some of the impact as opposed to just being steel on steel. And you don't want to scratch up whatever it is that you're doing this with. Now what that was doing, I started to notice that my wire was rotating. So by giving him some taps, kind of put him back into place along the line or the side of this stone. So these are super, super light taps going on here. All right, you boys need a little work. Now there's this one I'm not happy with. I guess it's just the two top ones I'm mostly not happy with that I'm going to need to play a little more. Give it a little bit of bend there. Maybe it'll lay a little better. You back into place there. That makes me happier. All right. Okay. So there's that. There you have it. Now I will definitely work on this more because I can still hear, I don't know if you guys can hear that, there's a slight rattle to it. It means it's not quite tight enough. So I definitely will, yeah, and I can see him moving. It's not something that's super duper quick, but what you save in the amount of wire weaving, as far as materials put into this, makes up for the extra time that you might have to put into it. So from here, I could probably end up stabilizing him just a touch more by using these guys. But, let's see here. Nah, I don't want to do that. Alright, so I'm going to weave these two here with my extra wire. And I'm just going to do a very simple figure 8 back and forth between these two. You get out of my way, and you get out of my way. Yep. See what happens when you don't have your tape with you? Oh, my nails are broken because of the sudden cold weather, and now I can't grab a hold of anything to save my life. Scooch. now I'm going to move this out of my way. Give myself enough tail to work with here. I'm going to try to tuck it in. Now, those figure eights that I was running, if you look down in between the wires, you can kind of see gaps in between the wire that you figure eighted and the base wire going on. And that's what I'm trying to hook through. Not always easy to do. Now then, we'll just do it this way instead. That's a good length of wire to waste. I hate that. So just taking this little piece of tail and sticking him down inside of that loop. Partially tuck him in there. Come on. There we go. Much better. Okay. And that'll do. And now with this part, some more wire going here. Now we're going to do a much wider one here, and it's going to be the same kind of thing, just a figure eight. Now I tighten it here first, make sure that's nice and tight around that wire, then I come over here and tighten it at this wire. Then I come back around, figure eight, and then tighten it over here, then come over. I've seen people try to do it tightly as they go. Well, that just brings your wires closer and closer together. So that's something to be cautious of when you're doing this. I like using this wire to be nice and stable. It's pretty much in the distance that I want. But I'm not always very happy with what I end up with when it comes to these wide V's. I love it how other people do it, and it's so beautiful, but I haven't quite mastered this myself, so I will keep on practicing till I get it right. And by God, someday I will. Where I was there for a moment. I think I need to go up to about here to get the effect that I want, which might just take me to the end of this wire, which wouldn't be a bad idea. Just nothing more satisfying than feeling like you used up a whole piece of wire. Well, not a whole piece, but a whole spool of it. And then around 1, 2, 3. Okay. And now I'm going to take this guy and fold him on over. You need to come over here and fold on over. Put him around the back and you around the back and get that a little tighter. Oop. Right. And now for this part, makes a little bit of interest there. I always love this look when everybody else does it. Tails, tails, come here. So go ahead and clip that tail off. There. And, oh yeah, you were the tail to that. And a nip. I can still see this one tail. Just fold him on over. Okay. And now we're back to the back here. Thinking. And I'm just putting a little spiral in there, in that piece. I don't know why, but ever since I bought this piece of stone, it makes me think of a little sheep, so I guess I'm going to just give it little sheep horns on the side here, because that nice kind of grayish white color. A little lamb. And now to do something with you, which may yet be the same thing. Come here. Where you going? There we go. And just curled him up underneath the little ram's horn that I already put there. And in a way, it feels like a crime to do it with my two longer pieces, but I got myself into this, so that's just what I'm going to have to do. And just grab a hold of that in, and just a nice loose curl. And give it some more curl. All right. There's still plenty of gap there to put a thread through. I want to do something with this. Symmetry, well, very fun and very beautiful. Sometimes I just, I just have to go asymmetrical. I just can't help it. I want to do something special with that. Now, maybe I'll just think about what I want to do with that piece, because I can think of so many things to make it curl right on the front, just because I want to, and it'll look so cute. Sometimes I just can't be helped. I'm sure you've all noticed that by now. All right, I'm just gonna straighten that guy back up a little bit. Maybe if I curl and then have him come around. I don't know. Yeah. Sorry if I'm not talking much. My brain is just completely tickled by this. I can't help it. There we go. That feels a little better. Yes. Okay, so there we are. And now from here is where I'm going to basically just be doing the exact same things I was showing you as far as these pegs go, just to make him feel a little tighter. He has tightened up as we've been doing this, which does happen, but I still feel needs a little bit more work. And you can see how much effort it is to take these guys in shape, and it's going to be just as much effort to undo it. So, I mean, it's not something that you need to, like, just be absolutely paranoid about. I just am. Be a very paranoid person when I want to be. Especially when it's such a pretty stone, and I don't want it to get lost, and you got this cool cloudy bit up here, and it's just neat, 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 neat. I love rocks. Rocks are cool. And yeah, there we go. He's not shaking anymore in there. I want to do a little bit more work to it, but overall, I think you can get the idea from here. All my little scraps to put in my scraps. But, alright, so, well, I hope this video helped you guys out. Again, as far as this prong method goes, you are probably going to have to get your round nose in there and put the curve in to them just a little bit to get them to be a lot more solid and feel like they're following the outside. I have a feeling I just did this whole thing off camera, didn't I? I'll take a look, I guess. But yeah, so that is pretty much that. And it's going to take, again, short of your customers trying to, or people who've got your pieces just trying to completely demolish your piece, he's fairly well in there. You know, like I said, I'll probably wear this for a week before I ever put it up for sale or anything, just to make sure that my my skills have done their proper due diligence here. And I'm paranoid. Can't help it. So, alright. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, comment. You do your thing that you guys do so well. And let me know in the comments section about other things that you would like to learn, because this pretty much ends the cages and cabochons, different ways and methods to do it, unless you can come up with another question that I may not have covered, or I can go more in depth on. More than happy to do that. So just leave those in the comment section down below. And I hope you all had a wonderful time. You can help support my channel by going to my Etsy account at Naughty Dog Studios. And just have a wonderful day, evening, or nighttime, wherever you are in the world. Got a few people from China. Hi, China! That's so far away. Your food's tasty. Have a wonderful day, guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. Bye.